Hey, God bless you. This is Reverend Daniel Delgado. I sitting down here reflecting, catching up on some paperwork. I just got back from an amazing time at the with the Billy Graham National Law Enforcement Appreciation Retreat. They held it in, I think it was the first one, I believe, in the East Coast. Um, it was in Old Greenwich, Connecticut. Amazing, amazing. I want to shout out to my brother in Christ, Jason Scazzi. We met back in 2014 when Third Day Missions and U.S. New York State Chaplain Task Force, Reverend Marcos, really myself, we had gone up. I was running a Two for Blue campaign, putting two emergency management blankets in every RMP or every police car, police vehicle. And we had done New York City, did did New York City, did NYPD, did New York City NYPD school safety, Jersey City, Newark, and someone who was connected to Jason connected us, and I said, yeah, absolutely, I'll go up to Vinland, and he was serving um, in the police department at the time. It was a year before he retired, and then he went on to pastor an amazing church up in Jersey, an Assemblies of God church. We had lost contact for a couple of years right before COVID, and we reconnected. And so, on a side note, I want to say something that an old friend of mine, and he's at home with Jesus, Reverend Rick Jimenez. He would always say, "Dan, we're friends. No matter how much time goes by, we're brothers. We're just gonna pick up where we left off." And I've taken that to heart. That's been amazing. So shout out to um, the Billy Graham National Law Enforcement Ministry. They are amazing. We probably had somewhere in the area of about 200 plus law enforcement spouses, and it's not a marriage retreat. It's an appreciation day for a retreat for law enforcement. If you're married, you bring your spouse. If you're not married, you come single. There were plenty of singles there. Um, but it was amazing. I was able to go with my wife. I was invited. I was representing the Fraternal Order of Police, and Jason had met Mike Essick up in National in Florida. Mike reached out to me, and Mike Essick is the president of the New York State Fraternal Order of Police. He reached out to me, and I said, "Yeah, I know Jason. He's a friend. This is good." He goes, "Man, I want you to go and just represent us. Let me know what it's about." So I went. It was amazing, the most amazing time. So refreshing. They're honoring law enforcement, and then most of the staff and Billy Graham chaplains that are there are previous or current law enforcement. So they understand the culture, they understand the dynamics of the world we live in, the pressures of the job, the pressures. And so it was just an amazing time. There was no, oh man, I made so many amazing contacts, and it was just such a great time in the presence of God. Um, and it was truly just honoring law enforcement. So it was amazing. And as I sat here and I was just reflecting, as a chaplain all these years with U.S. New York State Chaplain Task Force, and now with the Fraternal Order of Police for the last couple of years, and with the Spiritual Care Association. Shout out to Reverend Eric Hall and the amazing work that Spiritual Care Association, our partners, are doing. You'll be hearing more about this shortly. Some of you got emails, and I'm going to be doing a post, and in the future, I'm going to be doing a podcast very soon. I'm going to get ready. I'm going to prepare this office, turn it into a small studio, and launch a podcast here on relevant issues going on in the day, and bringing on people that can share nuggets of wisdom. So today, I just want to, as I was listening to the news this morning, two police officers coming off of detail, United Nations, going home, 7 o'clock, they get attacked. Somebody's trying to rob them. and they struggle. Uh, the female police officer discharged a weapon, shot the perp in the shoulder. He's alive. Then I heard the comments of people. Well, I think it could have been done differently. You know, something. I want to share something to all civilians who have not been in a situation of danger where they are charged to enforce law. They're peace officers. Um, when you have a split second decision to make that's life or death, choose life. Choose life. And so it was a righteous shoot. They're going to go through a whole investigation. And I pray to God that the leadership in NYPD, and I pray for the leadership in the NYPD. There are some good leaders, but some, I don't know, with the administration and everything going on and politics, many times, just law enforcement feel like they have their hands tied. They can't properly serve the community that they've been called to serve because they don't have the support of higher up leadership. So I pray that that doesn't happen. Then I heard on the news again yesterday there was an attack on an ICE facility. Again, attacks on law enforcement. So I want to say two things, and I think I've said it before, but it's worth mentioning again. NYPD has the largest law enforcement department in the nation. Our amazing men and women who serve their communities, uh, our unit, our NYPD in whole, is it's larger than the armies of some of the smaller countries. But we're losing people and great people incredibly. I believe in the last 4.5 years, from what I understand, 14,500 law enforcement personnel from NYPD retired. Some of them are personal friends that I can tell you for a fact that they would have stayed on board until they were kicked out. They would have stayed on board until they were forced to retire. They loved the job. Some of them, this is what they wanted to do all their life, you know, and they're leaving. I want you to reconsider your position when it comes to the lack of respect and appreciation to law enforcement. You may have had a personal incident, and that is what is informing your optics. You may have had a run-in, and it's very, very possible you could have had a run-in with a bad apple. It happens. Everybody is not going to be on top of their game when you have such a large department. You're going to have bad apples, but that is a minority. I mean, minuscule. I've had run-ins with law enforcement, encounters with them, always respectful. And even when I felt they weren't, I was respectful. And it changed the whole dynamic of the conversation. I remember growing up, the beat cop, I grew up in Bedford Stuyvesant. The beat cop knew my dad. I was more scared of my dad than any law enforcement officer. Hey, I remember one time, beat cop came by, and I was hanging out with my friends, and we were young, we just doing dumb stuff, and he said, "Hey, you, I know your dad. Your dad's Benny Delgado." Oh my God! I said, "Yeah, yes, sir, officer." I was like, immediately had the fear of God in me. You know, that's been lost in many of our generations, and you know, so I'm hoping that with all the new everything that's going on, I'm praying that, and I believe that the body of Christ has a responsibility to speak life into dead things. So speak life into relationships that have died, in respect that is no longer given. Parents, teach your children, teach your teenagers. I mean, you have some agitators out there going around with cameras, putting them in police officers' faces. Like, oh, you can't do anything, and cursing at them, and F you, and I have I have my First Amendment rights and blah, 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 blah. They don't know what that officer has gone through. They don't know what's going on in the immediate area, what kind of high alert that they are looking out for. And you're putting a camera in their face. I can't stand people like that. I got to be honest with you. I pray for them. Uh, and this is why I'm not a law enforcement officer. Yeah, they would have written me up. You put a camera in my face like that, it's not going to go well for you. And I say that in the best way possible. Yeah, I'm a believer. I'm a follower of Jesus Christ, but I'm a man who wants to be respected, who wants my privacy respected. I don't want to be disrespected in public, and I will respond to it. But our law enforcement officers many times just have to take it and grin and just walk away. And I pray for you. If you're serving, thank you. Thank you for serving. From a humble servant, thank you for serving our communities. Thank you for answering the call. I believe that's a call of God, just like pastoring, just like evangelist. That is, if you are a believer and you are in law enforcement, that is your platform. That is, you can turn things around from the inside. You can bring light in dark places. So I'm going to finish up with this and just encourage you today for all law enforcement, fraternal order of police, PBA. Hey, shout out to Cops for Christ. They did an amazing job. They did the after party. I mean, ain't no party like a Holy Ghost party. They did the after party when it came to right after our session. You know, uh, Brother Chris just broke out his guitar. The worship team of the Cops for Christ were there, and they just tore it up. I put some videos up. You'll see it on Facebook, Instagram, and even on this YouTube channel. But yeah, I just wanted to shout them out. Amazing. These are men and women. I've met so many. Reminds me when Paul is in the city and he's praying to God and he's saying, I'm all alone in the city. And God reassures him and says, there are many. There are many among you here. There are many here within the city that serve me. And when we see what seems like hopelessness in our city, I want to remind everybody there are many, many who are praying for the city. There are many who, even working in law enforcement, even working in different spheres of life, in the Department of Education, and there are many of us praying. So thank God. If you're serving in any civil servant job, serving the city in any capacity at all, thank you. Thank you. You can always reach out to me for prayer. For law enforcement that's out there, I can always be reached out for prayer. Look me up, Reverend Daniel Delgado, Third Day Missions. I'm an FOP chaplain. I'm a chaplain with for the longest, since the very beginning, since 2011, with the U.S. New York State Chaplain Task Force. And I'm also a first responder chaplain with the Spiritual Care Association. So reach out to me, uh, all confidentiality. We can talk, we can pray, whatever you need. You need to unpack, reach out. Hey, God bless you. God keep you. This is your brother, Reverend Daniel Delgado from Third Day Missions. I am so excited with what God is doing in this season. The Lord bless you and the Lord keep you.